Ben Sebastian here, curator of the Sonic Symphonic podcast, composer of the Kalasin series of albums and the soon-to-be-released, say soon, there's some news coming about that release soon, Spitting Out Flies, Borderline Personality Disorder, Opus 1, and in true borderline style, I decided to go on an image change and remove my beard, and then in true to borderline style again, I then now regret the whole thing because I think I look like an egg. So that's enough of my silliness. To beard or not to beard, that is the question, and I think it's definitely to beard. Thoughts and the comments below, but actually, let's go on. You can talk about the beard, but I'd rather you talk about the music, and that's the music what I'm here for today. So, an album called Chamberland Remastered by a band called Redahead, who I assume are from the States somewhere, judging by some stats I've seen on Spotify. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 original albums, and this reboot, I suppose, is their 6th. Not a lot of stuff in the bio, guys. Definitely it pays to have those assets kind of filled, tell some sort of story, give some sort of idea, give someone something to link to you. I know it's a pain going around all of the platforms and getting sort of artists verified, but I think it adds a touch, and it gives people like me a little bit more to talk about. But yes, okay, so we're going to play 3 tracks on this album. I haven't heard a single note of it, so let's get started. So the first track is the title track from the album, Chamberland. Let's go.
Chamberland, Chamberland, what lies in the door? Breathing in,
nice clear sound, like it.
When us crows fly away, we'll remember today. When us crows see your face, we'll slow dance on your grave. Chamberland, well, we know his name. Grenades, lies that keep us sane. Let us crows fly away. We'll remember today. When us crows see your face, we'll slow dance on your grave. Chamberland, why are we the flies? Agony, my river won't dry. Let us crows fly away. We'll remember today. When us crows see your face, we'll slow dance that's on your grave.
Okay, yeah.
Chamberland, I will know the lore. Chamberland, we're stuck in cement. Happy place,
Okay, so a little bit lighter to the kind of stuff that I normally listen to, admittedly, but I do like the sort of simplicity of that sort of lullaby type, you know, sort of intro verses, and then you're into the sort of meteor choruses. And what are we dealing here? We're dealing here with almost something like sort of post sort of punky metalcore, the hardcore type, emo type sort of style. Again, not my sort of typical genre, but you know, well executed. I wondered if the guitars were just could be a little bit up in the mix. They were, I think the levels were correct, but maybe just a little bit sort of set. I don't know, set back a bit sort of reverby, a bit sort of muddy, but it is a nice grungy tone, and the good clarity on all the other instrumentation and the vocals. Interesting lyricism, definitely sort of in keeping with this kind of sort of dark, sort of emo, woeful type artwork, which I actually do like. When you scroll through some of these other albums of theirs, the artwork is quite compelling. Particularly, I don't know if you can actually widen this on Spotify. Maybe I'll put it in post editing. But Egomaniac, and I wonder if the band if someone in the band is doing this artwork themselves. But I like the theme that they've got throughout all of their albums as well, sort of visually on the artwork. And again, that brings me to the point of you know, the bio pre-fills. Or filling out your bios, because a band or an artist is about sort of branding, and I'm definitely not the first person in terms of executing this, but you know, the colour of and the style of the kind of the artwork is definitely something that can be capitalised on, and I think enhances the music, and provides something for the listeners to sink into. So yeah, that side point aside, let's move on to the second track. Now the second track is called End, and yeah, okay. So let's give that a whirl as well. Atmospherics.
Attention, attention. This is your savior speaking. I have a confession. The man has done something truly evil.
God complex too old for the rise and fall. Heaven speaks too softly nor at all, as hell brings death row. Crying for a heroic affair. I'm not a hero.
Nice touch. Nice.
A place of nowhere. Maybe it'd be better after all to leave in arrow. I am nothing of a prodigy. I'm not a hero.
nice. Good effort, that one. Some closing atmospherics. Yeah, so right to the end. That is definitely something you could use, or a band could use as a single. Definitely has got all the sort of sort of elements in there that make it very listenable to even someone as it feels a bit like an old duffer like me listening to emo music. Get excited, particularly when those heavier vocals came in. That added so much colour to the track. And I think this is one that is definitely kind of indicative of the band's style. This is if I were the band, this is one of the tracks that certainly I would hang my hat on. Do your playthrough video with, and talk about the concept and I keep going back to this artwork, probably because in my innocence I saw 3 video links and thought, okay, 3 videos to review, and of course they are just stills of the album cover, which is absolutely fine. But it makes me look at the artwork even more, and the concept sort of matching the pairing here I've got in my mind, and this is my ADHD brain. Is I noted the occasional use there of the piano and I don't know, some sort of like bell type sort of twinkly tone. We've had featured in the first track, and we've had featured in this track, and maybe it's a sort of a predominant sort of theme that the band like to put in the mix. And of course, this adds, this kind of links in, those sounds kind of link in with the sort of the starry sort of concept. And as I've been watching these videos, you're looking at, it looks like sort of self-harming sort of scars. I'm wondering what the symbolism is of the crow or the raven that is perched on this rather kind of sad, kind of emaciated-ish kind of sort of looking guy here. I'm wondering what the symbolism of that is in relation to the concept of the music. And then obviously you've got the needle. Is that some sort of abuse, reliance, or is that some sort of input from sort of society or whatever? My mind is sort of going whatever. And again, that's something the band could talk about. These next time. Well, even go backwards with your themes and your descriptions, but certainly every time you create some new art and what have you, perhaps talk about the concept and how it relates to XYZ track. There's absolutely loads this band could be doing because it's highly listenable. Even, as I say, even to an old duffer but like me, who's a little bit kind of set in my extremes of dark black symphonic kind of sort of metal sort of coven, or corner. But that was the single. I think. I mean, I haven't heard all the tracks on the album. We're only going through 3 that have been submitted, but out of the 2 so far, this one is gold. So now moving on to the third and the final kind of piece we're going to play. It's called "I'm Scared." So let's just dig straight into it. Yeah. Back to the
underground, you might have heard of it. It's nothing but a home and something of a pet. When you sing your lullaby, I'll have you go, just say goodbye. We're going to the place you left behind, in case you're wondering, it's praying time. When you sing your lullaby, I'll have you go, just say goodbye.
Love those marching type beats. I love it.
Well, I am scared of, well, I am scared of, well, I am scared of, come out from hiding now, so I can face my fears.
finger eats from the palm of your hand.
Ah.
It doesn't mean it's fond of you. Why? Well, because you're the one who starved it. You watched it starve to near vanquish, fully knowing it would have no other choice but to give in to the likes of you. But why?
Okay, wow. Okay. That was a bit of a journey. Okay, okay, the band is certainly much more diverse than, you could ever anticipate when you read the words sort of like, emo, sort of punky type, sort of rock or whatever. This is getting on the this is like a sort of progressive emo, and I absolutely love that track. What a sort of black metal sort of interlude and sounding a section at the end. I found that's really exciting. Okay, so it's the previous single. The previous song is the single to capture the interest, and this one is for complicated sort of mass production. That your musician fans are going to love, because it's just kind of sort of cross genre and all sort of fused perfectly and full of surprises and punches. And and funny enough, you brought the crow into it as well, which it's funny enough. I was just talking about that, and I think in the first verse, something mentioned sort of about the lullaby, and again you've got those tones of piano. That all sort of came together. I don't know where that track sort of fits in the actual album. I wonder if that's sort of like a grand finale. Let's kind of have a look. Oh no, it isn't. End is the grand finale. I'm Scared appears third in the playlist. It's an 11-track album, by the way. And on the basis of what I just listened to, the diverse range of those 3 tracks, and then particularly what I would now say is my favourite of the 3 submissions, I'm Scared. I'm now encouraged definitely to give the album a full listen, and I've been pleasantly surprised. It's just rounding up. I'm gonna put some links and stuff below. If this has been your bag, or if you know anyone who it's likely to be their bag, do share the video, do share the links, do add them to your sort of playlists and lists of artists that you follow and whatnot. Definitely a band that needs to support, and I would say definitely a band that needs to definitely capitalise on the concept. Unfortunately, just being really good at music and having a good, well-formed band and having lots of material behind you just isn't enough. There's a story to tell here, and you look at some of the big bands, and maybe I'm going to start showing my age, but these are bands before my time that I was into. But when you look at stuff like Marillion or Yes, or Pink Floyd, or who else could I sort of pick? If you go onto the extreme metal side, sort of, Cradle of Filth and what have you, you look at their artwork sells some of the story. I've bought into many a band on the basis of artwork, and the kind of stories and the concepts, and that's what's missing from your bios. And I think that's a definite sell. And the new music will back it up. I can't profess to be a hugely knowledgeable about sort of like emo sort of scenes and bands and what have you. There's some obvious kind of things that come to mind, but this is certainly a deviation or an enhancement of the norm. And Redahead would be daft not to capitalize on it. So yeah, onwards and upwards of this band, and I look forward to checking out the album and maybe sifting through some other material. Definitely on my follow list. Definitely want to hear what you come up with next. I definitely want to see how you promote yourselves in future, and I hope this video helped. And to the viewers, I hope you've enjoyed the listen /watch. There we go. That's me done.